Today, we are going to talk about a topic that is rarely discussed openly, yet it sits at the back of the mind of almost every man as he gets older: penile aging. Yes, just like your skin loses elasticity, wrinkles appear, and your hair turns gray or white, your penis also undergoes significant biological changes as the years pass. You might have noticed that things aren't working exactly the way they used to. Maybe you've noticed a reduction in size, or perhaps the rigidity isn't what it was in your 20s. These are the classic signs of this aging process. But the big question is, does it have to be this way? Is there a way to hit the brakes, to decelerate this process, and preserve your sexual health and anatomy for much longer? The answer is yes. Stay with me until the end of this video, because I am going to walk you through 3 scientifically proven, fundamental strategies that you can start applying today to stop accelerated penile aging. These are not magic tricks. They are based on physiology and medical data. If you are new here, welcome to the channel. We talk about men's health, urological health, and sexual function in a direct, no-nonsense way, always grounded in science. If you want to stay ahead of the curve on your health, make sure to subscribe. Now, let's get into the science of keeping things younger. But first, we need to define the enemy. What exactly is penile aging? To understand how to stop it, you have to understand what is happening under the hood. Much like the skin on your face loses collagen and elasticity, the tissue inside the penis changes. The penis is made up primarily of 2 cylindrical chambers called the corpora cavernosa. In a young, healthy man, these chambers are packed with smooth muscle fibers and elastic tissue. This elasticity is crucial because it allows the penis to expand rapidly and trap blood to maintain an erection. However, as you age, a slow and often silent process occurs. We see a reduction in those healthy elastic and muscle fibers, and they get replaced by collagen. Now, you might think collagen is good because people inject it into their faces, but in the penis, an excess of collagen acts more like scar tissue. It makes the tissue rigid. It creates a state of fibrosis. When the tissue becomes fibrotic, it loses its ability to stretch. It becomes less compliant. This means that when blood rushes in, the chambers can't expand enough to compress the veins and trap the blood inside. This is a primary mechanical cause of erectile dysfunction in older men, the venous leak. Furthermore, this replacement of muscle with stiff connective tissue effectively changes the vascular environment of the organ. We also see a drop in the body's natural production of nitric oxide, the molecule responsible for telling your blood vessels to open up. So, when we talk about penile aging, we are talking about a structural change where soft, spongy, responsive tissue turns into stiff, non-responsive tissue. This can even lead to actual physical shrinkage, what we call atrophy or hypertrophy, where the penis appears smaller in its flaccid state. Now, realizing that this stiffening and shrinkage is happening inside you can be scary. But there are natural ways to reverse this specific mechanism. In fact, there is a fascinating presentation I want you to see regarding a bizarrely simple, 7-second purple hardening tonic. It relies on natural ingredients to target that exact root cause we just discussed, helping to clear out that stiff tissue and reactivate your body's natural flood of nitric oxide. It's helping thousands of men restore that youthful hardness without resorting to dangerous pills or pumps. If you want to see exactly how this home remedy works, go ahead and point your phone's camera at the QR code on the screen right now to watch that video. I've also pinned the link for you in the top comment below. It's worth your time if you want to fix this from the inside out. With that resource in mind, let's look at the lifestyle changes you need to make. Let's move to our first strategy. Now that we know what is happening, how do we stop it? Let's move to our first strategy. Strategy number 1 is the systemic foundation. This might not sound like a secret hack, but it is the absolute most important factor. You have to treat your penis as a vascular organ because that is exactly what it is. An erection is a hydraulic event. It requires blood to flow in at high pressure and stay there. The golden rule you need to memorize is this: whatever is bad for your heart is bad for your penis. If your arteries are clogging up in your chest, they are clogging up in your pelvis. In fact, erectile issues often show up years before a heart attack because the vessels in the penis are smaller and get blocked first. To slow down penile aging, you must control the major risk factors. High blood pressure is a silent killer of penile tissue because the high pressure damages the delicate inner lining of the blood vessels. High cholesterol and diabetes are equally destructive, causing inflammation and plaque buildup that restricts blood flow. We also need to have a serious conversation about habits. Smoking is arguably the fastest way to age your penis. It instantly constricts blood vessels and damages the tissue lining. But let's also talk about alcohol. Modern science is becoming very clear on this. There is no safe dose of alcohol for the human body. It is toxic to tissues. Beyond just the immediate performance issues, chronic alcohol consumption is linked to neurological decline and cardiovascular damage. It can accelerate the onset of dementia and Alzheimer's, and from a sexual standpoint, it is a toxin that contributes to the degradation of nerve function and vascular health. So, what should you be doing? You need to adopt a routine of regular aerobic exercise. This forces blood through your system, keeping the vessels elastic and healthy. Regarding nutrition, you want to aim for something close to the Mediterranean diet. This is widely considered the best diet for longevity. We are talking about foods rich in antioxidants and anti-inflammatories, grains, whole foods, fruits, fatty fish, white meat, and high-quality olive oil. The goal is to peel more and unpack less. Move away from ultra-processed, industrial foods that cause systemic inflammation. By keeping your blood vessels clear and your blood pressure managed, you are ensuring that the penile tissue remains oxygenated and nourished, which directly prevents that fibrosis we talked about earlier. This brings us to strategy number 2, mechanical maintenance. Or, simply put, keep the penis active. The penis follows the use it or lose it principle. This isn't just a saying, it's physiological fact. Let me explain why. Most organs in your body get a constant supply of fresh, oxygen-rich blood all day long. The penis is different. In its flaccid state, the penis is in a low oxygen state. The blood flow is minimal. The only time the corpora cavernosa receive a massive influx of oxygenated arterial blood is during an erection. This oxygen is vital. It nourishes the smooth muscle cells and prevents them from dying off and turning into scar tissue. This is why healthy men have nocturnal erections, those morning wood moments. That is your body's automated maintenance system. Your brain triggers erections during REM sleep specifically to flush the tissue with oxygen and keep the mechanics working. If you stop having erections, whether due to a lack of sexual activity, low libido, or erectile dysfunction, the tissue stays in a low oxygen state for too long. This hypoxia accelerates the death of muscle cells and promotes fibrosis. The penis literally begins to atrophy from disuse. Therefore, maintaining a regular frequency of erections is essential for tissue preservation. It doesn't matter if this is through partnered sex or masturbation. The mechanical act of engorgement is what matters for the organ's health. Now, what if you are already dealing with erectile dysfunction and can't get an erection naturally? This is where we have to be proactive. We don't just treat ED for the sake of your sex life. We treat it for organ rehabilitation. In these cases, we might recommend penile gymnastics. This can involve the use of vacuum erection devices or penis pumps. These devices physically pull blood into the penis, forcing it to expand and oxygenating the tissue. We might also look at pelvic floor physical therapy to improve blood flow to the region, or the use of daily low-dose medications that facilitate blood flow. The objective is to ensure that the penis is not left dormant. You want to keep the tissue elastic and stretchable. If you let it sit idle for years, it will harden and shrink. Keeping it active slows down that aging process significantly. Finally, let's discuss strategy number 3, hormonal optimization. You need to care for your hormones. Testosterone is the primary male sex hormone, but its job goes way beyond just giving you a sex drive. Testosterone is actually crucial for the structural integrity of the penis itself. We know that testosterone levels naturally begin to decline as men age, usually dropping about 1% to 2% per year after age 40. This is a normal part of aging, but for some men, the drop is much steeper due to stress, obesity, or other health issues. When testosterone drops too low, it creates a vicious cycle for the penis. First, you lose the nocturnal erections we just discussed, which reduces oxygenation. But more directly, testosterone is required to maintain the nitric oxide synthase enzymes, the machinery that produces the gas that allows for erections. Without enough testosterone, your body literally forgets how to relax the blood vessels in the penis. Furthermore, studies suggest that low testosterone is linked to the deposition of fat cells and collagen within the penile tissue. So, a lack of hormones directly contributes to the fibrosis and the stiffening of the organ. It is fundamental for men over 40 to know their numbers. You should be getting your hormone levels checked regularly. If you are in a range that is clinically low and you are experiencing symptoms like fatigue, brain fog, loss of morning erections, and low libido, you shouldn't just accept it as getting old. In these cases, after a proper evaluation by a specialist, hormone replacement therapy, TRT, can be a game changer. By restoring your testosterone to physiological levels, you can reactivate the nocturnal erections, improve the structural integrity of the smooth muscle, and ensure that the biochemical pathways for nitric oxide are working correctly. This is a powerful tool in preventing penile atrophy. So, to summarize, aging is inevitable. Time moves forward for all of us, but how you age is largely a choice. You do not have to accept the rapid decline of your sexual health and anatomy. By focusing on these three pillars, systemic health, protecting your blood vessels through diet and exercise, mechanical maintenance, keeping the organ active and oxygenated, and hormonal optimization, monitoring and managing your testosterone, you can significantly decelerate the aging of your penis. You can preserve your size, your function, and your confidence well into your later years. If you are noticing these changes, don't wait. Prevention is always more effective than trying to reverse damage that has already been done. Find a urologist you trust, check your numbers, and take control of your health. If you found this information valuable, please hit the like button and share this video with a friend who needs to hear it. It's a conversation we need to stop being afraid of. Subscribe to the channel for more science-based insights into men's health, and I will see you in the next video.